Well, hello, I'm Dr. Julia Royston. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm super excited for all that is going to take place today. This has been a long time coming, and but I'm just really, really thrilled. So the release, Our Father's Love, Life and Legacy. So I am super excited to have just the majority of the authors on today with me, and we're going to each have an opportunity to really talk about our chapter and where people can find us. Because if you know the one of the authors in the book, you should purchase it from them so that you get a signed copy directly from them. And we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But let me just give you a little backstory. First off, I'm Dr. Julia Royston of BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the Book Business Boss Consulting, helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss. And so, about I guess probably before COVID, so it has to be 7 to 8 years ago, I had an anthology for moms. It wasn't difficult at all because Mother's Day is big, and it's all about mom. Shout out to mom. Mom's the real VIP, the whole 9 yards. But about 3 years ago, I put out that I was interested in doing an anthology for fathers. And so when I did that, um, only a couple people, I didn't do it as widespread as I did this time. And as a matter of fact, one of the authors who's in the book, he sent his poems like 3 or 4 years ago, probably 3 years ago. And so I'm like, timing is everything. God's timing is always when it is. And so um, it happened this time. So there's 15 authors altogether, including myself, and they have each submitted a chapter. Some of them have actual pictures of their father or father figures in the book and talked about it. The thing I love, of course, is a variety of perspectives about fatherhood, whether it was, of course, none of the kids come with a manual. We don't come with an instructor's guide. You do this when they're 1 month old. You do this when they're 6 months. They have them little handbooks, but that doesn't cover all nearly 9 billion people on the planet. So therefore, it's trial and error sometimes. And depending on the background of the father, it will determine how they approach fatherhood, whether they adhere step by step to the way they were raised, or they go the complete opposite and do something totally different. It's a choice, it's a decision. But having a father in your life is really very, very incredible. So I'm gonna start. Um, my chapter topic was "You Have Purpose," and my father was Dr. Jack Forey. He passed away in 2010. He was my hero, even though he stood only 4'11". I was taller than my dad. My dad was 4'11", but my mother is still alive and 5'9". And so, just a few things. The top five um, that he really instilled in us the most, and there's more in the chapter, but number one was love. And of course, God Himself tells us, if he that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. So we can just really stop there. But my biological father believed the same thing. He loved family, loved friends. And then his next major scripture was a good name. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. And so guarding your name and what you're going to do, you're going to actually, protect your name at all costs and your reputation at all time costs. Because no matter what, your reputation is all you have. And then number three is do it. The Bible tells us, whatsoever a man doeth shall prosper. You can talk about it. My grandfather used to say, I'm fitting to, I'm getting ready to, I'm fixing to. You can fix, you can fit in, and one day I'm gonna, but it really carries impact when you actually do it. And then gifted. The gifted will never be broke a day in their life. And then he was a giver. And he said you have to be the first partaker or the first investor. So if you're asking others to give, make sure you've given yours first. And so, of course, and then he was all about work. Ooh, Lord. I started answering the phone for my dad when I was 9 years old. So you can tell we was working in education. So that's just a little bit about the details. You'll have to purchase and get the book at roystonroyalbookstore.com, roystonroyalbookstore.com, and I'll be happy to sign a copy as well as Mr. Royston. He's in the book as well, so he'll be happy to do a signed copy as well. And I'm proud of him. This is his third. He's one that says, I don't like to read, nothing about reading, but baby, hey, this is book number 3. Yay! And I'll stop talking now. So, next, let's go to Pastor Carson. Apostle,
Hey. Oh, unmute. I unmute myself.
go right ahead. We can hear you.
Oh, hey. Good evening, everyone. Woo, a father's anthology. Well, first, I want to congratulate all the other authors. I know that it was an amazing experience, just like it was for me. It's my fourth book, right? And I'm like, okay, God, what are you doing in my life? And I'm going to read a paragraph. I'm coming out of Pensacola, Florida, currently, but I'm on my way out, being relocated somewhere else regarding ministry. But I want to read the first paragraph, and Doctor here mentioned about timing, and truly, this is timing is everything. And I believe that this time it's truly a divine timing in this particular, I guess, era for me. And so my subject here is, or theme, the echo of his love and my son. I included my son, and I'm grateful Dr. Dana was able to just put a little bit in there because I know how to write. I write and write and write, but I'm grateful that she allowed a few lines in the book. You may not have it because she revised it for me, and I really, really, I'm honored. I'm honored. Oh, I'm very honored with that. The theme here that I picked, the echo of his love and my son, a black father rising in strength. And so I'm going to read the first paragraph, and I know we only have 3 minutes, so I'm going to really try to keep it because I know how to talk. The paragraph says, January returns each year like a slow moving tide, carrying memories I'm never quite prepared to face. It is the month, here we go, my father left this world. And even now, grief rises without warning. It always hits me. It always hit me. I'm telling you, this never gets old with me. My father passed away January 2nd, 2000. What was that? COVID time? 2000, that next year of COVID. But he didn't die of COVID. So great grief rises without warning. I feel it in my chest, in my breath, in the way my hands tremble. Again, when I try to write and speak about him. Grief doesn't ask permission, it simply arrives, reminding me of the love that shaped me long before I understood the depth of love. My father, my hero, my protector, truly my security. And I am a what do you call it? Um, what do you call that? I am a daddy's girl. I'm a daddy's girl. And so life had a way of teaching me and even receiving a kind of love, what love really looked like through my father. I'm going through quite a few issues, situations, circumstances, hell, heaven, all of these things. Okay. But I really never learned what true love was if it wasn't for my dad. So, my father, I miss him very much in those quiet times. I miss him very much in those decision making times. I miss him in those times that I just need to cry. And I really believe that when you read the chapter, you will feel, you will feel the anointing. You will feel the love. You will feel the power of love. And I pray that when you read it, you will feel that kind of power. I pray that when one reads it, that they will feel loved as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Apostle, where are you on social media? We have
So
your website at Rivers of Life Kingdom International Ministries.com. So we'll be able to connect with you, find you, and
correct.
purchase the book directly from you. But where are you on social media?
Just my name, Gwen, Gwen Carson. I had to delete another page because of hackers, but just simply my name. You can't miss me. And you have my email, correct?
Yeah, well, they'll find it when they go to your website. I just wanted to make sure. Are you on Facebook, Instagram,
Um,
all social media?
let's keep it Facebook at this
Facebook?
time. I don't use too much Instagram. Yeah, and the website. hmm
Wonderful. Rivers of
Thank
Life
you.
Kingdom International
Yes.
Ministries.com. Thank you, Apostle Carson, for being a part of this book. And thank you so much. God bless you as you continue to move forward in ministry. Be blessed and safe travels. Your next assignment. All righty, all righty. Let's head on to the end of the book. Dr. Weber, take it away, sir. I'm gonna unmute you. Go right
Okay.
ahead.
All right. Now let me get some things in the chat.
So Dr. Weber is like our resident theologian. Like he always takes everything to a whole nother level. So get your theological hat on, get your um I didn't even know how to spell some things. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so wonderful. He's teaching us. So Dr. Weber, your email address for those of you who wanting to purchase directly from him. And in Louisville, he is a community leader, so you'll be able to find him all kinds of places in the city of Louisville, Kentucky. But randy.weber.wcm@gmail.com is email. Reach out to him as well as you'll be able to find him. He's going to be all over the city of Louisville and just so be sure and connect with him so that you can purchase a book directly from him. Take it away, Dr. Weber.
Okay. My other email and my Facebook are in the chat. My name is Randy Weber. I'd like to thank Julia for giving me this opportunity to contribute to the Father's Day volume. I'm greatly appreciative of the influence that both my parents had on me. They were alive and together until my mother died when I was in my mid 50s, and my father a few years later. I had thought about writing something about my father, Then I realized it's a matter of public record that both he and his older brother were two of the more than 1 million Americans who died of COVID. Also, I was one of the people that helped some of the FEMA people work through their experiences of vicarious traumatization from listening to stories such as, those of, people like me who had lost someone. So out of respect for all these possibly millions of Americans and countless others in the world, I thought it would be appropriate to basically keep my feelings to myself. Suffice it to say, figuring out my parents' legacy may be a lifelong task. To paraphrase Paul to the extent that I can remember from 1 Corinthians 13, now we see as though through a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now we know in part, but then in full. But anyway, my chapter was a shortened and refocused version of an academic article I had done on the Lord's Prayer, Our Father which art in heaven, etc. It looks at the concept of the Father in light of the concepts of the Father in classical antiquity, and particularly attempts to compare our Heavenly Father, the deity, to Augustus, the emperor when Jesus was born, and probably one of only 3 people who actually deserved the title Father of his country. The other 2 being Romulus, if he was a historical figure, and George Washington. But our Heavenly Father is someone that we can all relate to, regardless of our relationships with our earthly fathers and father figures. And I'm grateful to have had good parents and some father figures as well. I looked in terms of responsibility. I'll wrap up by reading the last sentence of the article. As Augustus accepted personal financial responsibility for the welfare of Rome's destitute residents, so the far more powerful Heavenly Father might be relied upon to care for his children throughout the ages. I hope you will find the article informative, particularly those of you who are Christian or are interested in becoming Christian, because that's part of your scriptural tradition. Again, 2 of my email addresses and my Facebook page are up. If you have questions about the Lord's Prayer or want to get a copy of the book, as Julia said, you know where to find me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Weber. Just for our listening audience, just to let you know that Dr. Weber has dedicated his life to ministry, history, being a theologian, but he has really dedicated his life to the homeless and the recovery community, and is highly regarded in our city for his commitment to that community. And we're thankful for all that he does and all that he is committed to doing. I mentioned him in the book because the book is in one of the local bookstores. I just dropped it off today. And when she turned it to the back, she goes, Dr. Weber is in it. Oh my goodness, probably one of the most humble men we know. And so I'm honored. I met Dr. Weber many years ago. He just walked up on me. I had a book fair at a mall in town, and we've been friends and connected ever since. So thank you so much. Prayers and blessings for all that you do for this community, and we're always eternally grateful. And thank you for your insight always. And his take is always different. And even the beta readers are like, okay, the man at the end, that was totally different. I said, well, if you knew him, you would know exactly why he would come from that perspective. But we're thankful and grateful. Thank you so much, Dr. Weber.
Thank you.
All righty, coming up next, let's go to the East Coast. Let's hit up the highway to the East Coast, and we'll start off with Miss First Lady Lynn Lewis. Hold on one second.
Okay.
There you go.
Good
There
afternoon. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Royston, for this opportunity to be a part of this great anthology. Uh, as she just mentioned, I am on the East Coast in the U.S., actually in Virginia in the Richmond area, so it's considered Central Virginia. But thank you, thank you, thank you. This is my fifth anthology and my sixth book. I did a journal, a solo project, a journal, but this is my fifth anthology. And the interesting thing about this and what I wrote about is I got the notification, I guess it was through your newsletter. I call her Miss Julia, Miss Julia. And it came right shortly after, like a few weeks after we had funeralized my father, our father, who was 91 at the time that he passed away in August of last year. And one of the things about him, and I could have said a whole lot about Pops, but what was really I guess the emphasis behind me saying yes to this anthology is that in my heart of hearts, he gave us a great gift. He left us a great gift in how he prepared himself for his for taking his earthly leave. A year or so before he died, before he was sick, he had visited a funeral home, the local funeral home where he lived, and made his preparations. And he freely and openly talked about, his latter days, um, even up until the very last day when he knew that he was transitioning out of here. He still had a joke on his lips or something smart to say. And so I just considered it such a gift. So my siblings and I did not have to try to figure things out. The only thing two things we had to change was one of the singers that he had chosen who to sing and what songs is his cousin was not able to sing due to some surgery. But the person we replaced her with was somebody that he thought highly of. And the second thing was he did not choose floral bearers. So I just plugged his nieces in to do that. But everything else he had taken care of. He had told us who was to get a particular certain things. And it was just such a joy for me. Do I miss him? Yes. Do I grieve for him? Yes. But at the same time, he just left us, in my opinion, such a huge gift and his legacy. As I said, I could say a whole lot about my pops because he was a different person in his earlier years. He lived a different lifestyle. But he says it was in 1981 when he made that change. And as I said in his my remarks at his service was, he was the epitome of what a 180-degree turn looks like. Many times people would say a 360. Well, 360 is you go right back to where you started. But he made that 180 and he lived in that space. Yes, with lots of ups and downs and bumps along the way, but he lived in that space. And I'm just so excited that we got to grow up and become his seasoned children as he, matured to his latter age. And I just appreciate that, and I share it every chance I get because I just would love to see more people have those conversations and be in that position. And I remember the day I was in the room with him 4 days before he passed away. Um, and the hospice team came in, the chaplain came in, and he just kept, he said, regardless of what the doctors say, he said, but did you ask what did Dr. Jesus say? Because I'm not going anywhere until it's my time. And, they were kind of on edge, but when he started to talk and you could see them just kind of relax. And to God be the glory. To God be the glory for him leaving such a legacy for us. And so that's why I took the opportunity when Miss Julia offered it. And I said, yes, I'm going to write about my pops and just share the reflections from me, his oldest child, his oldest daughters. He would
Oh
he
God.
would literally tell you, that's my daughter. That's my daughter. So
Yeah.
again, thank you so much. I wanted, and I'll leave you with, he was a joker. And one of the things that he always would say was, I'm blessed by the best. I'm blessed by the best. And he left this world believing he was blessed by the best. So thank you again. Good to meet everybody. And I read the book on the train ride home yesterday from Charleston. So thank you.
Thank you for being a part. To purchase the book directly from First Lady Lewis, go to payhip.com/destined to thrive. You can also find Ms. Lynn Lewis on, I know we can find her on Facebook because I believe we're friends
Yes,
on Facebook. And she is a grief coach, correct?
coach on Instagram. Yes.
Grief coach on Instagram. So be sure and reach out to her and purchase the book as signed copy directly from her. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, Donna.
You're welcome.
Well, coming up next, Miss Linda Randall.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. I was very blessed to be part of this anthology. This is my third published anthology, and I have two soul projects that I've done previously. One was a journal, and one was a book based on our family's journey with dementia. This has provided an opportunity for me to relay some very personal things as to how I feel fathers play a role in our lives. I was a daddy's girl, and my father passed when I was 19. He passed 4 months before my wedding, to the day, of cancer. He taught me a lot of different things, as I was growing up, but it also taught me that fathers are fallible. They're not perfect. I came from a blended family, so I had a lot of siblings that were half brothers and sisters, and there was a lot of issues and things that happened with the other siblings, and there was a big gap in age between me and them. So a lot of times the focus of my parents were not really on me. They were on dealing with constant chaos and other issues. So as I grew up, I started to experience, disappointments, because there were things that I would have liked to have had that I wasn't able to have. There were things that happened in the household that I won't get into here. You got to buy the book and read the story. Okay. That greatly impacted my life as I grew up. So with that said, what I learned from my father was, a volume of different things. And in the Bible, of course, fathers are supposed to provide us our sense of self-worth and identity, protection, guidance, love, to be a role model, respect, and how we're supposed to be able to grow. Well, some of those things were, not the way God really intended as I grew into a young woman. So based on all of that, I was very eager to get out of the house, and I fell in love early, ended up in a codependent relationship for many years. But the blessing out of that was that I have two beautiful daughters. And then out of that relationship, when that finally ended, again, got to buy the book and read the story. Okay. I ended up getting what God had really intended for me to have, which was a man that was directly brought to me from him. And then we had a very, very strong marriage and a solid role model for my daughters to then see how it really should be as you grow up, and what type of man you should marry. So that's what my story is about. So, there might be tears when you read it, but that's okay, because, that's how we learn things. So you can find me on Facebook at linda.randall.3158. I'm also on Instagram at Linda K. Randall, and that's Kaye. I'm on LinkedIn at Linda-Randall-805-4877A. And you can also email me at linda@lindakrandall.com. And she's got my website up. So if you go to that, you can purchase the book directly from me, and I'll sign it before I send it out. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. LindaKRandall.com. I have two middle names, Ann and K. So but mine's not KYE. Mine is just a K with a period. And I'm like, wow, that's the reason why all of my websites are at Julia A.K. Royston. So yeah, I do have two middle names. So so we do definitely, besides this book, we have this in common too as well. I'm really grateful for Miss Randall's book, and because it shows both sides. I was a Duddy's girl, just like a lot of you, but sometimes it's not always that way. And we need others to show us the way, and we need father figures and great husbands and all that to fill in the gap. And I'm just appreciative because the God does. He brings us exactly what we need when we need it. And I'm thankful for it. Thank you for participating in this anthology. God bless you and all that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All righty, coming up next is Coach Wallace. Take it away, sir.
Good evening, everyone. The title of my piece is Ode to My Father. He's Reverend Dr. Wallace L. Garner Jr. And if he was alive today, he'd be 104 years old. And so I was like a second generation child, me and my little sister. And I had some older siblings. Like I have an older sister that's 83 years old. And so growing up, I was the only boy. So I guess you could say I was a mama's boy, but I was daddy's son. He named me after him. And so there was a lot of pressure on me, being a PK also, a preacher's kid. But things I learned from him is that I watched and learned how he carried himself. And he was a hard worker. And he put in a lot of time. He was a social worker, a probation officer, a pastor. He worked at the post office. He was one of the leaders in Louisville in the early days with Reverend Leo Lesser Jr. and Dr. King. And I overheard a conversation once. Dr. King had came to our house with Reverend Lesser, and they were going to march. They were setting a march up here in Louisville, and Dr. King told my father, "Do not march with them because you have a government job, and you would be fired from that if you marched." And I remember that. And my father was kind of sad behind it because he was ready to go, but he knew he had a family he needed to feed. He also was in the medical field, and when he could not go to uh, in those days, he couldn't go to medical school here in Louisville. So some Jewish people he worked for, he worked at the old Red Cross Hospital. They wanted to send him to medical school in Canada, but he didn't want to leave his family, and so timing was pretty tough on that one right there. And so he had a lot of opportunities that he passed up because of his family. But at the same time, he was a great provider, and he provided me a lot of knowledge over the years. Like I said, when I was young, I was scared. I was scared. He'd give you that daddy look. And those of you know what the daddy look is. And so when I became grown, a man, he was my best friend. We were best friends. We talked like best friends. And the greatest thing he ever said to me was he told me that I was the smartest man he ever knew. And I'm like, wow, you're the smartest man I ever knew. And so when he said that, that carries me today because I know the things he had to go through and coming up. And he was in World War II. He got shot in World War II. And I didn't know that he was going to get the Navy Cross, a 21 gun salute, when it's at his funeral, because I'm retired military too, and there's a lot of things we don't talk about in the military, and so that's one thing he never talked about was getting shot in Italy, and so he got that 21 gun salute, and you can read more things in this book, and this is my second effort, my first anthology, and my second book, and in my first book, uh, you can read that uh, a lot more about him. Like I said, breadentertainment.com is my email. You also can reach me on Facebook at Wallace Garner III, aka Cornbread, which is my nickname. And so proud to be a part of this. Ode to my father.
I love it. I love it. And if you love jazz, and you're anywhere in the region, go to breadentertainment.com, and he's going to be having a concert soon. And be sure and follow him on Facebook because he is always supporting and promoting great jazz musicians to come through. And so be sure and follow breadentertainment.com so that you can enjoy. He invited me and Brian once, and we usually, as they say, we usually in the house by 8 o'clock before the street light come on, and usually, but we did a date night. It was really, really nice, and it was a wonderful opportunity. So, Bread Entertainment, not only breadentertainment.com, not only for the book, but he is a very great advocate for the jazz community, and it's a wonderful opportunity. So, if you enjoy jazz, go to breadentertainment.com as well. Purchase your book too when you go. Make sure that he signs it. Thank you so much, Coach. We appreciate you being a part of it.
All right. Bye-bye.
All righty, let's go to Cincinnati. Let's head to Cincinnati. Straight up 71 from Louisville, head to Cincinnati. Take it away, LaShonda Ewing.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we got it.
Perfect. I am so super excited to be a part of this anthology with a dear friend of mine. We go way down through the years singing gospel music. And who knew at some point we would connect on this level as authors? And I am very blessed and excited to be a part of this book. I'm trying to show it in the screen, but I muted my background. And I'm super excited because I come from the perspective of I have a lot of father figures. So my section is called a father figure. And because I think a lot of times, a lot of us have been blessed and fortunate. I still have my father in my life, but I've also had other father figures in my life. And so, what I want to do is just read a section and then we can go back and talk about it because I think we always need to give a shout out to the men that stepped in. Amen. And so
Amen.
my section is called a father figure. When I think about the love of a father, I think about safety. I think about provision, protection, consistency, and presence. I think about a man whose very existence in your life allows you to rest. because you know someone is watching, someone is covering, someone is standing guard over you just because. I want to be clear from the beginning, I have a father. That truth stands. Alongside that truth is also a powerful one. One of some of the most formative, affirming, and life shaping love I've ever received came from men who stepped in as father figures in my life. Their presence filled gaps, they strengthened foundations, and taught me what it means to be loved, valued, and protected as a Black woman. I did not grow up lacking love. I grew up surrounded by it. Strategic love, intentional love, and God ordained love that showed up through men who understood that fathering not is not just about biology, but about responsibility. So in that section, I honor three great men in my life. One is my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, my mother's father, Arthur Ray Ewing, who was such a foundation in my life. He was the first man I ever truly loved. I loved my daddy, but my grandfather, that was my guy. He stood in the gap and he affirmed me in such a way that he taught me that nothing was impossible. Then there's my uncle Bobby. Anybody from Cincinnati, they know who my Uncle Bobby is because there has never been a life event that he has not been present in. And then there's my Uncle Chucky, who calls me baby girl. There every time, as for those who don't know, I am a certified life coach. I'm a licensed minister. I'm an author. I'm a certified keynote speaker as well. And so my Uncle Chucky, every single time I preach, that man is in the house. He's gonna be on the pew. He's gonna be there. He's gonna affirm me even during the sermon and after the sermon. So we have to recognize that for those who don't have a strong father figure in your life, you still can have men that have shaped you, made you, empowered you, grew you, entrusted you, affirmed you, loved you to wholeness. So when people say, well, some people think just because you may not have the greatest relationship with your dad, that doesn't mean that I don't have dad figures and I love Black men. Let me just say that out loud, strong and proud. I love Black men and I'm excited about the Black men in my life who have stood the test of time. My grandfather, through civil rights, he stood the test of time, worked on a boat, being one of the few Black chefs on the Delta Queen in Cincinnati, going up and down the Ohio River. So there's a strong foundation of love and dedication that I want to give out to all the father figures who have stepped in the gap when we needed to understand, as a Black woman being protected by you, we honor you in the legacy that you've created. We feel you with our entire hearts. You are appreciated, you are valued, and I had to. It was completely necessary for me to recognize these amazing father figures. I could have had many, many more, but these three were the standouts who have shaped the woman that you see today. Julia and I know we talked about my book called Boss Rights. Again, those same men affirming, showing up, letting me know that I'm a boss built for opportunity, success, and service. And I'm excited to be here with you today, Julia, for all of your hard work and dedication, making sure we all know that the knowledge we have within us can be put into print. And I hope this is not the first and the last time that we do it. So again, you can go to my website at mywisdomflows.com/books and find not only this book, but also Boss Rights. If you want to follow me on IG, I am under still mywisdomflows.com. And you can also find me that way on Facebook.
All right. And if you need a MC, I mean, you can just tell how boring she's going to be, right? No excitement over here. No smiles. No. Listen, that's how we met. She would light up the room, get it started with praise and worship, and MC the event and have us all up under the pew the rest of the night. So you could just tell, you could just imagine. So I'm super excited. LaShonda is probably one of my favorite people on the planet. We've done so many concerts, but you know how God continues to pivot us, evolve us into multiple faceted. And if you lend yourself to God, He will expand and multiply your gifts and multiply the things that you're able to do. So if you say yes, that's my memoir title, One Yes. So you say one yes, you never know where God will have you. Please go to mywisdomflows.com So follow her on social media, as well as purchase all of her materials. And if you're in the Cincinnati area, you'll find her somewhere, a gospel concert, MCing. Oh, let's see, well, who you with? The scientists, tech people. Yeah,
Yeah,
she does all those
yeah, I
things.
have a whole bunch. So my background is computer science and mathematics. I'm a T certified teacher. So it's just so
Yeah,
many things. God has really opened up the door. But what I'm more grateful for is that the door that this one continues to swing and stay open between me, you, and Julia. So Julia, thank you for your
absolutely.
gifts and your talents for always opening the door for others to actually blossom and grow and be seen. So I
I
truly
believe it.
appreciate you.
Well,
I
you've
love you.
opened plenty of doors for me, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful for the opportunity. Cincinnati is one of my favorite places to live in until God said I had to go home. So that's where we are. Thank you again, love. Be blessed and take care in all that you do. Bye
Have a
bye.
great one, everyone. Love.
All righty, let's go back to Virginia. Let's go back to Virginia, Pastor Lewis. Take it away, sir.
Well, good evening, everybody. I am Keith Lewis, native Richmonder here in the state of Virginia. I got to this anthology by way of my wife, who you heard earlier, Lynn Lewis. She told me about the project after she got the invitation, and it had to be the Spirit of God that moved in me to say, maybe you should write a chapter in this book. People tell me I write well. I don't like to write. So for me to ask, can I be a part of this, had to be a move of God. And here I am. My story is a little different. Um, my father died in 2018. My father and I have had an estranged, I can't even say the word right, but a strained relationship
Mm-hmm.
most of my life. He and my mom divorced when I was in the third grade. So I would see him, but never really had a relationship with him. Tried to build a relationship with him after he stopped drinking and became sober, and discovered that's just who he was as a person. It wasn't the alcohol, it was who he was. So it was always tension, always stress. And when his health began to deteriorate, he needed some assistance, needed somebody to help take care of him and kind of help manage his life. It fell on me. He had two sons. I'm the oldest. The other one was all over the place. So there was really nobody to do anything for him but me. I did it because it was the right thing to do, not because I wanted to. And that created a source of tension in the 2.5 years that I managed his care and took care of him. And it was when he died and I was meditating over the eulogy that I would give at his service that what my chapter is about came to light. I used to always be envious of people around me who talked about what they learned from their fathers and what their fathers taught them. And I always said, I wish I could say that, but I can't because my father was not really in my life and my father didn't teach me anything. But upon reflecting to give a eulogy at his service, I realized that my father did teach me something. And what he taught me was how to be a father, not because he was a good father, but because of what I experienced and what I went through. I made the determination that I'm going to be the best father that I can be so that my child or children would not have to feel and experience what I felt and experienced growing up. And it was upon writing and putting together that eulogy that I realized I always was the father figure for young men who didn't have their fathers in their lives and who was looking for guidance and direction. They always seemed to fall in my lap, and I wondered why. And it was preparing that eulogy that I realized that's what my father taught me. That's what I learned, and that's what I shared in my chapter. So I'm really delighted to have this opportunity to be a part of this great book, and I look forward to seeing what the future holds. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Lewis. Excellent. When it was asked of me, are you looking for only positive, oh, I had, I'm daddy's girl tiptoed through the tulips type situation. I said, absolutely not, because we want to make sure that we resonate the stories with a larger audience. And, even though my story is extremely, I look the most like my dad, the whole 9 yards, um, and do the most. And, Jesus said, when you see me, you see the Father. And I take that to heart too, because when you see me, you see my Father, and, I have great memories. I speak of him often, every day almost. My mother said he'll never be gone as long as I'm alive, because I'm most like him. But you're absolutely right. He did teach you. He taught you what you didn't want to do and what you didn't want to be. And then God kept bringing them young people in your life, because you had to, they say, hone your skills.
Yes.
You had to,
Yes.
you had to work it. God is incredible how he works. And sidebar. So, Mr. Royston and I do not have any biological children. So when I taught for 22 years in education, because I was always going to be a corporate raider. Education, my dad taught. I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing that. Me and my sisters, we said, oh no, we're not doing that. But I was standing in the library, elementary school, probably one of my kindergarten, first grade. They was running around, they was doing a lot of things, and I was standing there complaining, literally. And I said, Jesus, you got jokes. What in the world am I doing with these kids? He said, if you can lead these children, you're leading a nation. And I stopped complaining that day. I was done. I said, oh, I forgot. You know how they say, oh, the children's church, oh, the children's ministry. And he said, this is a nation. I don't know what you're talking about. I said, yes, sir. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm going to just keep being in the fight, because that is not only the next generation, but it's the current generation.
Yes.
And he said it was a nation, not just a generation. He said, if you can lead this here, this is a nation. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Because we don't see often as he sees. We don't move as what we looking, our eyes are showing us something that we probably are seeing facts, but it's not the way God sees it and the way he wants it. Please reach out and follow Pastor Keith D. Lewis and purchase his book directly from him. I know that you will. Well, the entire book is phenomenal, is the way I feel about it. But your chapter will resonate with many, in that a lot of people feel the exact same way, and some people are even held up from living their own life and being their best father self. Because of their history. But take note, read carefully, and purchase it directly from him or any of the authors, so that you can get that section, so that you can begin the road to recovery, the road to healing. Thank you so much, Pastor. And we appreciate you and your wife. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back home. Let's go back home. I know Brian's looking like, you making me laugh. Yes, love, I'm making you laugh. I'm making you laugh. I'm making you laugh. You gonna be okay. So, pastor, reverend, minister, coach, therapist, all the things. I don't understand why the unmute button is not unmuting like I want to. See if you can unmute yourself real quick.
I did. I did it. I did it.
Yay!
Yay!
Take it away.
Thank you for the opportunity to be a part of this project. And it has been great to work with you again. I've been blessed by all of the stories. I did get a chance to look through the book and read some of them. So
I've been blessed. My chapter is a little bit different. It is titled Somebody's Daughter, Father, I Forgive You. And as you were stating earlier, Julia, I know that this would resonate with so many individuals who are longing for their fathers. So my story is about abandonment, but it doesn't ultimately, but it's not necessarily a story of loss, because I highlight God's ability to heal what seems broken beyond repair. My father and mother were married, but he left when I was 6 months old. And so for many years, I carried the question of, you know, God, where's my dad? Why am I nobody's daughter? And yet, through the grace of God, I was able to get an apology from my dad, and extend forgiveness and experience restoration. And that was when I was 30 years old. And I want to insert this because I work with such a huge population of individuals who don't have an ideal home life, and they don't know their fathers. Some don't even know who he is. And, as a therapist, I understand that hurt people often hurt people. And my father carried wounds from his own family. And I want to share just a little bit from my chapter, because I believe that this will speak to those who are longing and wondering, if God is able. And so it says, I know that generational patterns, when unaddressed, often repeat themselves. Emotional absence begets emotional absence. Abandonment breeds fear of attachment. Silence gets passed down as survival. But I also knew something else to be true. Cycles can be broken. My choice was forgiveness, and that was puzzling to my father. And so for nearly 20 years, he did the 20 years when I got to meet him, he did everything he could to make up for it. And there was nothing he can do. And I would often say, you don't have to do that. You don't have to cry again. You don't have to apologize again, because God really did restore us. And so in the end, love, the agape love, proved to be greater than the abandonment. Grace proved to be stronger than the resentment that I could have had in my heart. And so God broke the generational cycle by transforming first my heart, but then also his. And so my prayer is that the readers will leave with hope, knowing that healing is possible, and that forgiveness is powerful. And so I kind of, in the book, I do go through the process of how we got here, got where we were. And I just want to leave with saying that God is so faithful, and that no story is beyond the reach of his redeeming love. And that's it.
Thank you so much. I love the
Mhm.
picture too.
Thank you.
Inside. So you have to get the book to see the picture of her
Yeah.
father. And,
Yeah.
if you saw that picture, you would have never known that
Mm-mm.
story, because
Mm-mm.
it's not one of, how people like standing there, but they real stiff and like, oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
here, but hurry up and take
Oh,
the
look at
picture
him there.
because I'm done with it. Very loving, very warm, and I love God for his restoration for his people, and thrilled and thankful. Be sure and reach out to Reverend Minister, Pastor, Therapist, Coach, all those things in her beauty clinic at yahoo.com. Be sure and find her wonderful pictures and images on social media. She's out
Thank you.
everywhere and
Thank
taking
you.
care of helping the children in the school district. And we're appreciative of all that you do. I
Thank
saw
you.
you won an award recently
I
for,
did.
for community partners and
Mm-hmm.
all the things.
The
And we're
recognition.
congratulations to you and all that you do. It is a wonderful thing when people can actually give sometimes what they don't receive, but they're able to impart it to others so that we can stop it, that we can say, you can do it. You
Break those
can be
cycles.
healed. You can recover, break that cycle. Thank you so much, darling. Reach
Thank
out to her,
you.
clinic@yahoo.com. Email her, and she'll make sure you get a signed copy. Thank you so much, dear. We'll talk soon. Alrighty, next up. Next up. Okay, we'll go ahead. Brooks Crittenton.
How you doing? I'm on the bus right now, so sorry. How's everybody doing?
We
Can
doing
you
all
hear me?
right. Go ahead. We can hear
Okay, I
you.
just wanted to make sure. Yes, I just wanted to say thank you for letting me on this beautiful book. I had a chance to open it up and look through it. Before the bus goes, my quick section is pretty much, I wouldn't say I was the perfect son. You know what I mean? It took a village of them to get me. So the first part of my poem really is speaking to my father, Mr. Kevin Crittenton, my pops, Mr. Melvin Brown, and then the last section is to my father-in-law because I just recently been married, and a couple years ago, not recently, but a few years ago. It seemed like yesterday, but he's been a great father-in-law in my life. And then the second part to the poem is to all the fathers in the village. And I always wanted to, and I'm grateful to be a part of this anthology. I know you've been wanting to do this for the fathers, so I feel it's something powerful because it's something that is not really spoke about or acknowledged as much as it should. So I hope my piece, those men really take my words and appreciate what I said to them because it's from the heart. And that's what I wanted to say real quick while, my brother on this
Yeah,
bus
before you get to
before I
moving.
start getting
I
too
know.
crazy.
I know. This man is on the move. Purchase the book directly from him, rnmbtlkpoetry.com. Find him on Facebook, Brooks Crittenden, and find him on Instagram. I'm going to read a little portion of, I'm going to read the Fathers in My Village so you can hear it. He is I might as well, he's an award-winning poet, and he won an award for top spoken word and a poetry artist. He's a creative. He writes totally differently, but this I can tell is always near and dear. So you had the opportunity in the anthology to either write a chapter or you could, in his case, submit poetry. And there's another poet in the book too, Miss June Harden, which they're normally on my National Poetry Month. And I'll just go ahead. I said somebody, but Brooks was the person. I've had his poems for like 3 years. Because when I first mentioned it, he sent me poems. So, Fathers in My Village. I want to speak on the fathers in my village. It takes a village to raise a kid. For one boy, how many men? Many men taught me. Fathers are needed. I had mentors and fatherly figures. I grew up with their children. Father, bless these men. They taught us to survive. They showed us how to be alive. Fathers in my village. They're different. Teach us to reach for excellence. Did we listen? Fathers in my village had concern for my life, our lives, the children who benefited from your wisdom. Father, protect them. I have brothers and homies with kids. Let the new generations see what it's like to be great men. Guide your children to greatness. It's time to be celebrated. Walk in fatherhood. Lord, heal anyone who needs it. It's okay to feel you're strong, never folded on their families, all walks of life. Even if you serve this country, thanks for your sacrifice. I just needed you to know you are seen. Mr. Brooks Crittenden, and that is the ones, the fathers in the village. So please reach out to him. RNM, B is in boy, TLK Poetry. I also met Brooks Crittenden in one of the mall events. Dr. Weber was one, and so was Brooks. And I used to do those like in 2019. So these gentlemen have been a part of my life, supporting what we do for many, many, many years, and many, many travels, and all that they do. But thank you so much, Brooks. We appreciate you and all that you do. And safe travels. Enjoy. Mr. Royston, my ride or die.
Yeah, but you would make me last.
I'm sorry.
Brian.
No, that's the way it is. Take it away, sir.
My name is Brian Royston. My chapter title is My Loyal, My Loving Father. You can find me on social media. Facebook is Brian K. Royston. And Instagram, it's Brian Royston. Excuse me, all lowercase, all together. I don't have much of a social media presence. I'm definitely not on TikTok. But if you look at me, you're looking at my dad. And my dad is still here. He's getting up there in age. He's 88 years old. He just turned that, and he's still. I'm not gonna say he's a spring chicken, but he can outdo a lot of people at that age. Much less, when he gets to be 94, he's still gonna be outdoing most of the people around here. He's in his yard constantly. The things, 3 things about my father. He has a strong work ethic. Okay, I can't think of anybody else like my father in that aspect of he likes to work, and if he doesn't work, it's not a good thing, because he's got to stay motivated and working, doing something at all times. I'm lazy. I'm not that lazy, okay, mind you, but I couldn't do half the stuff that he's doing, even at 98. 88 years old. I can't do half of what he's doing. He's going working out at the gym every day, or at least every other day, along with my mother. We don't have that kind of stamina like they do. Seems like the old folks have something we don't have. But we do have the knowledge to be able to do other things that they are not able to do, to assist them wherever is needed. My dad is also a very independent person. And very self-sufficient. So he doesn't depend on anybody else. He wants to do the stuff himself and try to figure it out to best his ability. He's very loyal, loving, and he is a legacy that's going to be hard to replace once he is gone. But right now, I still have my father, and I'm so much appreciative of him. That's all I got.
Well, that's good. You can purchase the book. If you purchase it from me or Brian, we'll both be signing the books at RoystonRoyalBookstore.com. And you did good, honey. Yay! Well, let's see if I can get everybody back on. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Hey, Kelly, how are you?
You missed
I made
Before we
it.
go, take it away, love.
Thank you. I've been fighting to get on. I finally had to go incognito to be able. Like I'm gonna miss it.
What happened? Oh my Lord.
Yeah, it wouldn't
Oh
let
my
me
goodness.
get on
Well,
on
take
my
it away,
regular.
love. Go right ahead.
Okay. So I thank you, Miss Julia, for allowing me to participate in this opportunity. My father passed away in 1992. I was 19 years old. And my father, even though he died at 49, he left a legacy that is still remembered. Like I just saw some of his friends about 2 weeks ago, and they still were sharing stories and talking about the things about his character that have left a lasting impact, not only with me, but in the lives of those that he encountered. So the title of my section is called A Legacy of Grace, The Life of a Gentle Giant. My dad was an extremely tall man, And I refer to him as a gentle giant because in my household, my mom was the shortest of the four of us that lived there. And everybody thought that because of my dad's stature, that he was the one that was going to get with you, and it was not. It was my mom. And so I come from a group of people who believed in service and who still believe in service. And as we get older, I know that I have started to reflect more on who am I and what am I supposed to be doing. And in those seasons of reflection, I think about what my father valued and how that showed up. And in my chapter, I wrote about how he believed in serving others and how that shows up and has showed up in the lives of not only my siblings, but also in the lives of our children. All three of the grandchildren do community service. They believe in helping others. And that shows up in the choices and decisions that we make. And that comes from us coming from people who are helpers, who believe in giving back and who believe in serving and who believe in honoring God with our lives. So, just one section from mine because I really do want you to buy the book. This is my second anthology. I did one previously that was about dealing with grief. But this section, I want to highlight the fact that I grew up, growing up with my father. He was consistent and he provided me with a profound sense of safety. His routines, his demeanor, and his value never wavered, allowing my own confidence to flourish. He never allowed me to dwell on my shortcomings for long. Instead, he would gently remind me that I am a child of God and that everything I need can be found in Jesus. He walked this out daily, opening prayer and ensuring my Christian development was anchored in Sunday school, Bible study, and church. So, with his life, even though he wasn't with us, it's never long enough. When you love people, it's never long enough. Um, his 49 years were purposeful and left a lasting impact. And I am ever grateful for my gentle giant.
Wonderful, wonderful. Where are you on social media?
I'm on Facebook primarily. I can be found on Instagram and LinkedIn. My name can get you there. Kelly.gar@outlook.com is how you can reach me if you want to email me.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, Ms. Kelly. And we definitely know all that you're doing in the community and all those things that you're providing for children and young people around the area. And we're appreciative of all that you do. So thank you so much to all the authors that are part of this anthology. I greatly appreciate all of your hard work and all that you have done to make this a fruition. I ran a strict camp on this one, so they made the deadlines, got what I needed when I needed it, and I really appreciate it. This is an ode to all fathers and all of your relationships with your fathers, whether they're cherished like mine or they're still on the mend or somewhere in between. So, but I wanted to have something that really speaks to the fathers. And Heavenly Father always number one, but we have very few. The scripture even tells us we have many teachers, but we have not many fathers. And so
she lost her connection, so she's going to try and reconnect. I don't know what happened, but are we getting them ready to dismiss? You can come in here, Julia.
back.
Oh, there she is.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness. No. The old folks say, well, the devil's busy. But anyway, technology is busy too. But thank you so much for all that have joined, all that will meet up with the authors later, and for all that you do. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you so much for being a part of this anthology. And God bless you for all that you do. Until we meet again, be blessed. Live your
Thank you. Good night,
Good
everyone.
night. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.